Have you ever wondered if those vitamin supplements you've been taking for years might actually be doing more harm than good? Those little pills that were supposed to keep you healthy and strong might be hiding a dark secret that your doctor probably never mentioned. The feeling of betrayal when you discover that something you trusted for so long could potentially be feeding a hidden cancer in your body is truly devastating. I understand that fear all too well. Just last month I met Robert, a 78-year-old retired teacher who had been meticulously taking his supplements every single morning for the past 15 years. He was doing everything right, exercising regularly, eating well, and never missing his daily vitamins. Yet when he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer, his world was turned upside down. What his doctors discovered shocked them. The very supplements he had been taking to stay healthy may have been silently fueling his cancer cells for years. Today, I'm going to reveal the 4 vitamins that seniors over 70 should avoid, vitamins that numerous studies have linked to increased cancer risk in older adults. This information isn't widely discussed, but it could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. The research is clear, but the supplement industry has little incentive to warn you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which vitamins to remove from your medicine cabinet immediately, which safer alternatives to consider, and the warning signs that a supplement might be causing harm. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about arming you with life-saving information that I wish Robert had known years ago. So please stay until the end, because what you don't know about these common supplements could be the difference between health and a devastating diagnosis. Hey there everyone, welcome to another video where we tackle the tough truths about senior health that most doctors just don't have time to explain. I'd love to know where you're watching from today, so drop your location in the comments below. If you have questions about any vitamins you're currently taking, feel free to ask those too. Before we dive deeper, I want to invite you to join our growing community of informed seniors and caregivers by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. That way you'll never miss potentially life-saving information like what I'm about to share today. The vitamin supplement industry is massive, a $50 billion juggernaut that promises health, vitality, and longevity in convenient little pills. Marketing campaigns specifically target seniors with promises of stronger bones, sharper minds, and cancer prevention. The irony is heartbreaking because while you've been diligently swallowing those pills thinking you're protecting your health, some of them might be doing exactly the opposite, especially after you've passed your 70th birthday. The aging body processes vitamins and minerals differently than it did in your younger years. Cellular changes, alterations in absorption rates, and shifts in metabolism can transform what was once beneficial into something potentially harmful. What worked for you at 50 might be dangerous at 75. It's a cruel reality that our bodies change, but the standard vitamin dosages often don't adjust accordingly. The supplement industry largely ignores these age-related differences, promoting one-size-fits-all products that fail to account for the unique physiology of aging bodies. What makes this situation even more troubling is how these vitamins might be connected to what doctors call occult cancer, hidden malignancies that develop slowly without obvious symptoms until they've grown dangerously advanced. By then, treatment options become limited and outcomes are often poor. The vitamins I'm about to discuss have been linked in multiple scientific studies to increased cancer risk in seniors, but these findings rarely make headlines. Why? Follow the money. The supplement industry has little motivation to publicize research that might hurt their bottom line. And now let's explore these problematic vitamins in detail, examining why they become risky as we age and what alternatives might serve you better. I want to pause for a moment and ask you something important. Have you or a loved one been taking vitamin supplements for years, believing they were essential for your health? How does it feel to consider that some of them might actually be harmful? I know this information can be unsettling, even frightening. Many people feel a sense of betrayal when they learn that products marketed as health-promoting might be doing damage instead. You're not alone in these feelings. Countless seniors have shared with me their shock and dismay upon discovering that their faithful supplement routine might have been misguided. This is a safe space to express your concerns and experiences. If you'd like to share your thoughts, simply copy "I've been taking vitamins for years and I feel" and then complete it with your honest reaction. Your comment might help someone else who's feeling confused or worried about their own supplement regimen. Remember, your experiences matter and could be exactly what another person needs to read today to make better decisions about their health. Every comment helps build our community of informed seniors looking out for each other. And now let's continue with our vital discussion about these 4 problematic vitamins. The first vitamin we need to discuss is high-dose vitamin E supplements. For decades, vitamin E has been promoted as an antioxidant powerhouse, protecting cells from damage and potentially preventing cancer. The marketing has been so effective that millions of seniors take vitamin E supplements daily, often in doses far exceeding what you'd get from food. However, the scientific community has made a dramatic about-face on high-dose vitamin E supplementation, particularly for those over 70. What was once considered protective is now viewed with serious concern. Let me explain why this shift occurred and what it means for you. The problem begins with how vitamin E functions in the aging body. While vitamin E is indeed an antioxidant that can neutralize harmful free radicals under certain conditions, particularly in high doses, and in older adults it can actually become a pro-oxidant, causing the very cellular damage it was supposed to prevent. This Jekyll and Hyde transformation is particularly pronounced in seniors, whose cellular mechanisms have altered with age. The SELECT trial, one of the largest and most important studies on vitamin supplementation in cancer prevention, delivered shocking results that sent ripples through the medical community. This landmark study, involving over 35,000 men, found that those taking 400 IU of vitamin E daily actually had a 17% increased risk of prostate cancer compared to those taking a placebo. What makes this finding particularly relevant for seniors is that the increased risk was most pronounced in men over 65. Think about that for a moment. A vitamin that was supposed to prevent cancer actually increased cancer risk by nearly 1/5. Even more concerning, subsequent research has suggested that high-dose vitamin E might accelerate the growth of existing small tumors that might be present but undetected, what doctors call occult or hidden cancers. For seniors over 70 who are more likely to have these small, undetected malignancies, this represents a significant danger. Vitamin E supplements might essentially be feeding hidden cancers, providing them the protection and nourishment they need to grow larger and more dangerous. But how exactly does this happen? The mechanism involves vitamin E's interaction with cancer cells. Some research indicates that while vitamin E can protect healthy cells, it may also protect cancer cells from the body's natural defense mechanisms and from oxidative stress that would normally help destroy them. Additionally, high doses of supplemental vitamin E can interfere with cancer treatments, making chemotherapy and radiation less effective, a devastating consequence for seniors undergoing cancer treatment. Have you ever wondered why something as seemingly innocuous as a vitamin could become harmful? The answer lies in dosage and form. The vitamin E in supplements is often a single form called alpha-tocopherol, but natural vitamin E from foods contains a mix of 8 different compounds, 4 tocopherols and 4 tocotrienols. This diversity matters tremendously. The isolated alpha-tocopherol in supplements lacks the balanced effect of the natural mixture and can actually suppress other beneficial forms of vitamin E. It's like taking a perfectly balanced symphony orchestra and amplifying only the trumpets. The harmony is lost and the music becomes distorted. For seniors over 70, the risks of high-dose vitamin E supplementation simply outweigh the potential benefits. Does this mean you should avoid vitamin E entirely? No, not at all. What it means is that you should get your vitamin E from whole foods rather than pills. Nuts, especially almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, avocados, and olive oil, all provide natural vitamin E in balanced forms and appropriate amounts. These food sources provide the full family of vitamin E compounds in the ratios nature intended, without the risks associated with isolated high-dose supplements. If you're currently taking vitamin E supplements, especially at doses of 400 IU or higher. I strongly urge you to discuss this with your healthcare provider. Don't stop any supplement regimen abruptly, but have an informed conversation about whether these supplements are truly beneficial for you given your age and health status. The evidence suggests that for most seniors over 70, high-dose vitamin E supplements represent an unnecessary risk, one that could be feeding rather than fighting potential cancers in your body. The second vitamin we need to address is beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A that has long been promoted for its antioxidant properties and potential cancer-fighting abilities. Like vitamin E, the story of beta-carotene supplements is one of promising theory colliding with disappointing and concerning reality, especially for seniors. Beta-carotene gives carrots, pumpkins, and sweet potatoes their vibrant orange color, and in these natural food sources, it appears to be beneficial. However, when isolated, concentrated, and taken as a supplement, particularly by certain groups including seniors, the effects can be startlingly different. Two major clinical trials delivered alarming results that changed how the medical community views beta-carotene supplementation. The ATBC study conducted in Finland and the CARET study in the United States both found that smokers taking beta-carotene supplements actually experienced increased rates of lung cancer compared to those taking placebos. In the CARET study, which included former smokers, the risk increased by an astounding 28%, leading to the early termination of the trial for ethical reasons. But what about non-smokers? Surely beta-carotene would be safe for seniors who have never smoked. Unfortunately, more recent research suggests that the risks of beta-carotene supplementation extend beyond just smokers, particularly for older adults. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute examined multiple studies and found that while the risk was highest in smokers, there was also evidence of increased cancer risk in non-smokers taking high-dose beta-carotene supplements over extended periods, particularly those over 65. For seniors over 70, this risk becomes even more pronounced due to age-related changes in how the body processes carotenoids. The mechanism behind this surprising effect involves how beta-carotene behaves in the body, particularly in the lungs and other tissues. In high concentrations, beta-carotene can actually increase oxidative stress rather than reduce it, especially in the oxygen-rich environment of the lungs. This oxidative stress can damage DNA, potentially leading to cancer initiation or progression. For seniors who may already have small, undetected precancerous cells, this added oxidative stress could be the trigger that promotes these cells to develop into full-blown cancer. Additionally, beta-carotene supplements can interfere with the absorption and utilization of other crucial carotenoids like lutein and lycopene, which have their own important health benefits. This interference creates a nutritional imbalance that may further increase cancer risk. The timing of beta-carotene supplementation also appears to matter. Research suggests that taking beta-carotene supplements after cancer has already begun to develop, even at a microscopic level that cannot be detected by screening tests, can accelerate the cancer's growth. Since seniors over 70 have a higher likelihood of harboring these small, hidden cancers, the risk becomes particularly relevant. But surely some amount of beta-carotene must be necessary. Yes, absolutely. But the key distinction is between beta-carotene from whole foods versus isolated supplements. When consumed in foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, kale, and other colorful fruits and vegetables, beta-carotene comes packaged with hundreds of other phytochemicals that work synergistically, creating a balanced effect that supports health rather than harming it. These whole foods provide beta-carotene in amounts that the body can properly utilize, without the oxidative damage that can occur with high-dose supplements. The solution is straightforward: focus on getting a rainbow of colors in your diet through whole foods. A diet rich in orange, yellow, green, and red fruits and vegetables will provide not just beta-carotene, but a full spectrum of carotenoids and other beneficial compounds in the balanced proportions that nature intended. If you're currently taking a beta-carotene supplement, especially if you are or were a smoker, consider discussing alternatives with your healthcare provider. For most seniors over 70, the evidence strongly suggests that beta-carotene supplements represent an unnecessary risk that could potentially be promoting hidden cancers rather than preventing them. The third vitamin on our list of concerns for seniors over 70 is high-dose folic acid supplements. Folic acid is the synthetic form of folate A-B vitamin that's essential for DNA synthesis and repair. For decades, folic acid has been viewed as unequivocally beneficial, leading to widespread fortification of foods and popular supplementation. However, emerging research has revealed a complex and sometimes troubling relationship between folic acid supplementation and cancer risk, particularly for seniors. The story of folic acid and cancer is a classic example of how timing and context can transform a beneficial nutrient into a potential threat. Folate's role in DNA synthesis and repair is indeed crucial for preventing certain types of cancer, particularly colorectal cancer. Adequate folate levels help prevent DNA mutations that can lead to cancer initiation. This protective effect is why many countries, including the United States, have implemented mandatory folic acid fortification of grain products, which has successfully reduced neural tube defects in newborns and shown some benefits for reducing colorectal cancer at a population level. However, the relationship between folate and cancer takes a concerning turn when we consider its effects on already existing precancerous or cancerous cells. While folate can prevent the initial DNA damage that leads to cancer, it can also promote the growth of cancer cells once they exist. This dual nature has been described as a double-edged sword in scientific literature. For seniors over 70, who are more likely to have small, undetected precancerous lesions or early-stage cancers, high-dose folic acid supplementation could potentially accelerate the growth and progression of these hidden malignancies. This concern is supported by several troubling research findings. The aspirin folate polyp prevention study found that participants taking folic acid supplements had an increased risk of having 3 or more colorectal adenomas, advanced lesions, and actually had a higher risk of prostate cancer. A subsequent follow-up study found that the increased risk of colorectal adenomas persisted even after supplementation had stopped. Similarly concerning results emerged from a Norwegian study, which found increased cancer incidence and mortality among participants taking folic acid supplements, particularly for lung cancer. These findings are particularly relevant for seniors over 70 for several reasons. First, older adults are more likely to have accumulated DNA damage that may have already initiated the cancer process. Second, age-related changes in metabolism can affect how folic acid is processed, potentially increasing the availability of folic acid to feed precancerous cells. Third, many seniors are already getting sufficient folic acid through fortified foods, making additional supplementation unnecessary and potentially harmful. But the story gets even more complicated. Some research suggests that the relationship between folate and cancer follows a U-shaped curve, meaning that both deficiency and excess increase cancer risk. The optimal level appears to be moderate intake, primarily from food sources with fortified foods, providing additional but not excessive amounts. High-dose folic acid supplements, particularly those providing more than 800-1,000 DONS mcg daily, may push seniors into the risk zone, especially when combined with the folic acid already consumed through fortified foods. The form of folate also matters significantly. Folic acid is a synthetic form that requires conversion in the body to become biologically active. This conversion process becomes less efficient with age and can lead to unmetabolized folic acid circulating in the bloodstream. Some research suggests that this unmetabolized folic acid may itself have negative health effects, including potential immunosuppressive properties that could further increase cancer risk. For seniors concerned about maintaining optimal folate levels, the best approach is to focus on natural food sources of folate, such as leafy green vegetables, legumes, asparagus, broccoli, citrus, fruits, and avocados. These foods provide natural folate in forms that the body can readily use, along with other beneficial nutrients that work synergistically to support health. If you're currently taking a multivitamin or B-complex supplement, check the amount of folic acid it contains. Many provide 400 mcg, the daily recommended amount for adults. However, if you're also consuming fortified foods like breakfast cereals, bread products and pasta, you may already be meeting or exceeding your folate needs without additional supplementation. 4. Seniors with specific health conditions that might warrant folic acid supplementation, such as certain types of anemia. It's essential to work closely with healthcare providers to determine the appropriate dosage and monitor for any concerning symptoms. Remember, more is not always better, especially when it comes to folic acid and cancer risk in seniors over 70. The fourth vitamin supplement that raises serious concerns for seniors over 70 is high-dose vitamin D, particularly when taken without appropriate monitoring and individualized dosing. Vitamin D has become one of the most popular supplements in recent years, heralded for its role in bone health, immune function, and potential cancer prevention. However, emerging research suggests that the relationship between vitamin D and cancer, particularly for seniors, is far more nuanced and potentially concerning than previously thought. Let's explore why high-dose vitamin D supplementation might be problematic for those over 70, particularly in relation to hidden cancer risk. Vitamin D is unique among vitamins in that our bodies can produce it when our skin is exposed to sunlight. It functions more like a hormone than a traditional vitamin, influencing numerous biological processes throughout the body, including cell growth and immune system function. These very properties that make vitamin D essential for health can also make inappropriate dosing dangerous, particularly for seniors. Several large-scale studies have revealed troubling findings about high-dose vitamin D supplementation. The VITAL trial, one of the most comprehensive studies on vitamin D supplementation, found no overall benefit for cancer prevention in the general population. More concerning, some analyses have suggested a potential U-shaped relationship between vitamin D levels and certain cancers, meaning that both very low and very high levels might increase risk. For example, research published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that men with the highest levels of vitamin D in their blood had a 2.5 times greater risk of pancreatic cancer. Similarly, the RECORD trial found that elderly participants receiving high-dose vitamin D had unexpectedly higher rates of certain cancers, though the numbers weren't large enough to be definitive. The biological mechanisms behind these observations are still being investigated, but several possibilities exist. First, vitamin D can potentially promote cell growth and inhibit cell death processes under certain conditions. For seniors who might already have small undetected cancer cells, these effects could potentially accelerate tumor growth. Second, high levels of vitamin D might have immunomodulatory effects that could be beneficial in some contexts, but potentially harmful in others, particularly for seniors, whose immune systems are already experiencing age-related changes. Third, emerging research suggests that genetic variations affect how individuals respond to vitamin D, making standardized high-dose supplementation potentially risky without personalized assessment. The risk is compounded by several factors specific to seniors over 70. Aging kidneys process vitamin D differently, potentially leading to higher sustained blood levels from the same supplement dose. Seniors are also more likely to have compromised kidney function, which can affect vitamin D metabolism and increase the risk of hypercalcemia, a serious condition where excessive calcium builds up in the bloodstream. This hypercalcemia can lead to a range of health problems, including kidney stones, kidney damage, cardiac arrhythmias, and cognitive impairment. Perhaps most concerning for our discussion, high calcium levels can also create an environment that's favorable for certain types of cancer cells. Additionally, many seniors are taking multiple medications, some of which might interact with vitamin D supplements, potentially exacerbating negative effects or creating new health risks. Medications that might interact with vitamin D include certain blood pressure medications, steroids, cholesterol-lowering statins, and some antibiotics. Does this mean that seniors should avoid vitamin D entirely? Absolutely not. Vitamin D deficiency is a legitimate concern for many older adults, particularly those with limited sun exposure mobility issues or certain dietary restrictions. The key is finding the right balance through individualized assessment and appropriate supplementation when needed. For seniors concerned about maintaining healthy vitamin D levels, the best approach includes several components. First, get a baseline blood test to determine your current vitamin D status. The 25-hydroxy-vitamin D test is the standard measure and can guide appropriate supplementation if needed. Second, if supplementation is warranted, start with moderate doses, typically no more than 1,000–2,000 IU daily, unless specifically directed, otherwise by a healthcare provider based on your blood levels. Third, retest periodically, especially after beginning supplementation to ensure levels are within the optimal range, not too low but also not excessively high. Fourth, consider non-supplement approaches to improving vitamin D status, including moderate sun exposure. Spending 15–20 minutes in the sun several times a week with some skin exposed can help your body produce vitamin D naturally. Finally, focus on dietary sources of vitamin D, including fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, fortified milk and plant milks, egg yolks and mushrooms that have been exposed to UV light. Remember, the goal is balanced optimal levels, not maximum levels. More is not better when it comes to vitamin D and cancer risk, particularly for seniors over 70, who may already have hidden malignancies that could potentially be accelerated by inappropriate supplementation. Now that we've examined these 4 potentially problematic vitamins for seniors over 70, you might be wondering what supplements, if any, are actually beneficial and safe for older adults. The truth is that supplement needs are highly individual and depend on numerous factors, including your diet, health status, medication use, and lifestyle. However, some general guidelines can help you make safer, more informed decisions. First and foremost, focus on getting nutrients from whole foods whenever possible. Our bodies are designed to process and utilize nutrients in the context of food, where they come packaged with fiber, phytochemicals, and other cofactors that enhance their benefits and reduce potential risks. A diet rich in colorful fruits and vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and lean proteins provides most nutrients in their most bioavailable and safest forms. Second, if you do need supplements due to specific health conditions, dietary restrictions, or documented deficiencies, choose quality products that provide moderate, not megadose levels of nutrients. Look for supplements designed specifically for seniors that account for the changing nutritional needs of aging bodies. Third, work with healthcare providers who take an integrative approach to nutrition and supplementation. Ideally, find a provider who will conduct appropriate testing to identify your specific nutrient needs, rather than recommending a one-size-fits-all supplement regimen. Regular monitoring through blood tests and health assessments can help ensure that your supplement program remains appropriate as your health status changes. Fourth, be particularly cautious with fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, which can accumulate in the body over time, potentially reaching toxic levels with long-term high-dose supplementation. Water-soluble vitamins like B and C are generally safer, as excess amounts are excreted, but even these can cause problems at very high doses. Fifth, consider the potential for supplement-drug interactions. As we age, many of us take multiple medications, and supplements can interact with these drugs, sometimes reducing their effectiveness or increasing side effects. Always inform all your healthcare providers about every supplement you take, even those that seem innocuous like multivitamins or herbal preparations. Sixth, pay attention to your body's responses to supplements. If you notice new symptoms or changes in how you feel after starting a supplement, don't ignore these signals. They could be important indicators that the supplement isn't right for you. Finally, stay informed about emerging research on supplements and aging. Our understanding of how nutritional needs change with age continues to evolve, and recommendations that were standard a decade ago may be outdated today. What specific supplements might be worth considering for seniors? A few evidence-based options include vitamin B12, as absorption naturally decreases with age, and deficiency can cause serious neurological problems. Calcium with vitamin D for bone health, but in carefully monitored amounts magnesium, which supports numerous bodily functions and is often deficient in modern diets and high quality. Probiotics, which can support gut health and immune function, particularly important for seniors. Remember that even these generally beneficial supplements should be taken with care, attention to dosage and regular monitoring. The key takeaway is that more is not better when it comes to vitamins and minerals, especially for seniors over 70. Moderation, personalization, and professional guidance are essential for safe, effective supplementation that supports rather than undermines your health as you age. Let me take a moment now to summarize the critical information we've covered today. For seniors over 74, vitamin supplements deserve particular caution due to their potential links to hidden cancer risk. High-dose vitamin E supplements, which, contrary to their antioxidant reputation, may actually increase oxidative stress and cancer risk in older adults. Beta-carotene supplements, which studies have shown, can increase cancer risk, particularly lung cancer, not just in smokers, but potentially in all seniors. High-dose folic acid supplements, which, while preventing some cancers, might accelerate the growth of already existing precancerous or cancerous cells, a particular concern for older adults who are more likely to have these hidden malignancies. And high-dose vitamin D supplements, without proper testing and monitoring, which can potentially create conditions favorable to certain types of cancer cells, while also causing dangerous elevations in blood calcium levels. The common thread among these concerns is that isolated concentrated supplements behave differently in the body than the same nutrients obtained through whole foods. Additionally, the aging body processes these nutrients differently, creating unique risks for seniors that may not apply to younger adults. The solution isn't to avoid these nutrients entirely, but rather to obtain them primarily through a diverse whole foods diet that provides balanced amounts of vitamins, minerals, and thousands of beneficial phytochemicals working together as nature intended. If supplements are necessary due to specific health conditions or documented deficiencies, they should be taken under professional guidance with appropriate testing and monitoring to ensure they're truly beneficial rather than harmful. Thank you for staying with me through this important information. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with others who might benefit from this potentially life-saving knowledge. Your comments and questions matter enormously to me, as they help me create content that truly addresses your concerns and needs. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss crucial health information like this that could make all the difference in your well-being or that of someone you love. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your health, and sometimes the most important knowledge is knowing what not to do. You deserve to thrive in your golden years, and making informed decisions about vitamins and supplements is an important part of that journey. Until next time, take good care of yourself, and remember that your health is your most precious asset. Protecting it requires wisdom, courage, and sometimes going against popular advice to follow what science truly shows is best for your unique aging body.